All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. They go play action here on first down. Well, he's going to take a shot right away. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. You think back to all the interceptions he threw last week. Here we go, first play of the game, another pick.
And you know that all week long, they spent time breaking down exactly why he threw the interceptions. Was it mechanics, bad reads, not enough study? Sometimes you just think about it way too much, and that leads you to the next one.
Time to refocus. Now they'll run it on the toss. Room here to run. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Wentz on the bootleg. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll bring up a second down. And this is a guy who last week not only helped his real team, but really helped a lot of fantasy teams. 3 trips to pay dirt. They've got to contain it.
And watching him play is like going to lunch with you when you order that combo plate, right? In this case, his combo plate is he can go over the top of you and catch it in front, turn it into a big game, run past you, and then uses his size and his physical abilities to keep you away from the football. Hard to defend this guy.
Reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Hey, empty, empty.
Wentz to throw on 3rd and 1. He completes it to Bryant. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. He needed a yard. That's what he got. And it's going to earn him a new set of downs.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now.
Wentz now on first down. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Now a first carry for Donnell Pumphrey. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
Come on now. Oh, come on now. Let's go. Liz. There we go. Back.
Now Wentz on third down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Bryant. And that one good for 16 yards and a first. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Throwing is Wentz. Buying time to his left. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he gets it down to the 32. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Right back to him on 1st down. And he will cross the 30 down to the 29-yard line. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
A first carry now for Kofrani Muhammad. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Now this drive, they're 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they need 7 yards here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs, gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
Black, come on. 58, Lion. 81.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. Escaping the pressure right. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here.
Let's go. Great, great. Lion. 82.
From the gun, it's Wentz. And it's incomplete, almost intercepted. He had a great shot at picking that off in the end zone. It brings up 4th down. So on now the field goal team for Philadelphia. The wind is at his back here in the second quarter. And this one is right through. And the Eagles, they take a 3-0 lead. So you're a boxing guy. How do you score that on your boxing card? A very long drive, but 3 points.
And I really want to do my boxing analyst voice right here, but I'm going to keep it normal for us, right? I call it a draw. That type of a drive has to feel good, right? You take it all the way downfield, you control the ball, control the clock. But they only got 3 points out of it. So defensively, it could have been worse, right? So I give it a draw.
The Redskins offense now, they head back onto the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a 1st down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Pitching it out to McCaffrey. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
He'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Play clock down to 3, and we're going to get a
39.
timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at about the 32. On the carry, it's Muhammad. And takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Come on now, come on now. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. The Pro Bowl corner, Jason Verrett, on the tackle.
Nice job there defensively on 3rd down. Not only did they string the play out, but they didn't allow any room for a cutback. Really well organized on the defensive side.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Wentz. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Come on now, come on now. Let's go. On the ball.
And they'll go on the ground. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now they'll run it on the toss. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll be 3rd down. Shotgun now for Wentz. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
81.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. Over the middle, complete. It's Vaughn. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. The Eagles into the red zone for the first time. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Into the red zone. Wentz. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8.
Come on now. Come on now. Let's go.
Working from the gun, Wentz. He may try and run for this. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And his kick is indeed good. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the 3rd quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
And while that play was unsuccessful to start the second half, I'm not sure that you just totally abandon what you do running the football. Maybe you make some adjustments in your run game and do things a little bit differently, but that doesn't necessarily mean you just go to the pass and do nothing else.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Eagles on third down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
20. 53. Black, come on. Go. Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53.
Now Wentz. And Anderson's got it. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, but it leads to 4th down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Fielded just inside the 20. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. So here's the Redskins offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
They'll set up a throw. Going for the deep ball. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Gone!
Looking to throw. The open man is Shark. It's complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down. Now a toss. This is McCaffrey. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Patriot! Here we go now.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. Oh, a nice spin. Touchdown, Washington. A big play there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Redskins have tied it here. The extra point to come can put them in the driver's seat. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and they take the lead here at 7-6. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, You've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. And they'll run it here. Some fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just up past the 25 and no further. Tackle made that time by Vita Vea.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
81, 81.
They fake the give. Now Wentz. Flush to his right. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. That's Samuel, caught left side. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. Well, they've got the slim deficit, decided to go for it, hoping to keep the football score and erase that deficit. But, boy, deep in their own territory like that.
Let's just say that with that call, me and the head coach will agree to disagree. All right, but he knew he wanted to be aggressive there, as you pointed out. So I'll guarantee he told his defensive coordinator, have your guys up and ready. I'm going to go for it here. If we don't get it, just make sure they're ready to go out there and bail us out.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll try to get the running game going with McCaffrey. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Back to the ground on 1st, it's McCaffrey. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down. Took till the 2nd half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Detroit! Detroit!
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
They come up in an offset eye. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
And that loss of yards there is not just on him. It's on the guys blocking for him. I mean, they're supposed to create some type of space or at least get a stalemate. They end up letting them through, and they ended up tackling him for a loss.
They get it to him running left. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Redskins are going to add on to their lead. The offense going to stay on the field as they will line up and go for 2. They'll look to throw here. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now Wentz. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. And welcome back. We are in. In the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's the Eagles behind on the scoreboard, but with the football here as we start the 4th quarter. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now they'll run it on the toss. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The Eagles on 3rd down. 5 out of 9 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Great 15, great 15. 82, 82. Black, come on.
To throw is Wentz. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10.
Hey. 4 down. Check nine. Tyson.
They'll run it now out of the gun. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Now they try the right side here. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
20. Check 3. Sunday. Shorty.
Play action. Now Wentz. It's caught by Bryant. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the 1st. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
Got 4 down. Check nickel. Hey, 4, Tokyo. Lion. Right there.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Black.
Wentz now to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Trailing in the 4th, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
All right, now, lucky 56.
McCaffrey following the penalty. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Let's go. 3-19.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. McCaffrey with a first down and more. And down to the 29-yard line. That good for 22 and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And the Eagles are going to go ahead and take another timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. McCaffrey on the toss right. Down to about the 22 here. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
They are pushed back 5 yards by the delay of game, 2nd and 8. Trying to get to the outside. This is McCaffrey. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be 3rd down and about the length of the football.
We got 3 down.
The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a first down. Only a 1-yard gain, but good enough to just about finish this one off.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Washington, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they will head home next week to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, it's a bit of a setback as they drop to 6-4 now. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Arizona Cardinals. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin.